story number 3. There's a crisis going on in Marvel. New article came out from Variety.com. Some people are calling it a hit piece, as we mentioned before. Some people are calling it a smear piece. Some people are calling it finally the truth is being out. Well, it's called Crisis at Marvel. Jonathan Major backup plans, the Marvels reshoots, reviving original Avengers, and more issues revealed by Tatiana Siegel. I don't keep up with these people, but her name's getting thrown around a lot. And basically, it's looking that everybody is reeling from a series of disappointments in Marvel. I've had my disappointments with Marvel. I'm currently having them with Loki, which was my favorite show. So I've got a lot of problems with what's going on, and people are flaming me in the comments. I haven't fought back too much, but I'm just saying they got issues and they need to get fixed. Do they have issues, Theo?
Absolutely. I think, look, we've been talking about this for what, man, since maybe even last year a little bit. We talked about Eternals and what was going on there. The There's a lot of different parts. And if you go read the story, we're not going to go into the deep dive. Maybe we'll do a whole Marvel show, just go deep dive into Marvel maybe at the end of the year and see where they are, ways we can fix Marvel or MCU
Mhm.
and thoughts on that. But so I think this coincided with a book that the podcaster at The Ringer, Joanna Robinson, she wrote a book, The MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, right? And so this book just came out. And so just like the history of Marvel, and she did a lot of interviews. And out of that book came a lot of revelations about stuff that we know about, right? It's the shoddy FX work, right? Some of the things that's going on with Jonathan Majors behind the scene, the need for the original Avengers to come back, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just all these things that are coming to the forefront now because of that book. And so this article is just an outlay of that. And it's stuff we already talked about, right? The glut of content is not compelling anymore. They're blaming on they were mandated to create more content for the streaming service. And so that made the content not as special. Sure. But it's just
Yeah.
one of those things like just make a good TV show. It don't matter. And you don't have to keep putting out stuff that just telling pieces of a story to get people to another story. Just tell a complete story, which I don't think Marvel ever mastered because they were rewarded for doing that in movies. They never told a complete story until Endgame, 22 movies.
They started
So
with 2 relatively complete stories, which are Captain America, and Iron Man. And then after that, they started really.
mhm. Even with those, though, they had those little teasers right at the end.
Sure.
But yeah, to
But
your point though, the
yeah,
whole
but with
story.
with those movies, you didn't have the teaser taking over
Yeah.
the talk of the story. So when people talked about Iron Man, they weren't like, "Hey, at the end, do you remember this?" And that's no, you talked about Iron Man. So
Yeah. And Avengers 2 was terrible, right? Age of Ultron, but they absolutely the teaser was for other stuff. And so, yeah, so I think those are things that and then so is Feige, like you said, is he nervous, Mr. Benja? I think that's what's happening. Is he gonna pull some tricks? So what are your sense? Maybe we'll do a deeper dive later of all the different problems. What do you think he's trying to because we know the next movie they got coming out is the Marvels, right? This month, November. Track is not good. I don't think too people are excited about it. Or they're not expecting to make I think the last one made like $1 billion. This will not get close to $1 billion. It is what it is.
so here's the thing. It's weird because you've got a movie that stars Brie Larson, who nobody has really nobody's really championing Brie and Captain Marvel as characters. She just shows up on the screen and people are like, "Oh, okay, blah." Then you've got Photon, who got beat up by Wanda in WandaVision, and you're like, "Oh, okay, that side character that got beat up." And then you've got Miss Marvel, who's like this young teeny bop, whatever, and which is she's a cool character, but not compelling enough for me to go get up and lead this movie or co-lead in this movie. So I'm just looking at this movie, and I can do this for any of the things they've got coming out. This is not picking on Marvels. I can do this with Loki or any of the new things. And
Mr. Benja, do you not like diverse storytelling? Do you not like women led stories?
apparently I'm sweet. I'm sleeping, man. because I don't like the woke. No, I'm
Okay,
just
Ben Shapiro. Okay, Ben Shapiro, slow down.
what's funny is I'm on the side of woke, but then when I see what they actually do with the content, I'm like, "Okay, I like woke. I don't like this shit." You know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's
I'm
almost
just
it's pandering to the wokeness for
right.
sure.
I think we're getting a lot of pandering. Listen, we're talking about numbers and everything. The show Kenobi had a $90 million budget. She-Hulk comes out and has a $250 million budget. Yeah, I get that there's a lot of CG involved, but if I'm over there running things, I'm like, there is no way this show is going to get more money or that much more than Kenobi. And it just talks to, hey, we can get a cash grab for this guy that everybody likes and not really put too much into it. We can play off easy tropes that we already know the quote unquote fans love and just throw it out there. And it did what it did. And then, hey, we really got to try hard with She Hulk and let's put these other characters into it, make new characters, a new style of writing. Just crazy. So, yeah, I got issues with that. I got so many issues I don't want to talk about anymore.
I would just say this. I'm probably one of the few folks that thought She-Hulk wasn't that bad, but I liked it. But I get the knock against it. But I was just thinking, they were one of the things was like they were forced. Disney or MCU was forced, put so much content out. But I'm like, what choice did Disney have? They were trying to go against Netflix. They needed content. They had two great IPs in Star Wars and in MCU. Why not put quality content out? I think the problem was their process was that messed up. They just brought movie
Yes. Yeah.
people into TV, and that's why the TV shows, they were trying to make these 6-hour, 10-hour long movies, and that's not how TV should be run. So it and they shown that where they scrapped all of Daredevil. I think they filmed the 3/4 of the whole show. Already filmed it and everything. Get all this, and they're going back to the drawing board to a traditional showrunner type process. So anyway, so maybe we'll do a deeper dive on this because I think there's some more discussion here.
Yeah, and I don't wanna come off as a hater. I am, but I don't wanna come off as one. I do actually enjoy watching these things. It's just that when I go back and I see mistakes, I'm like, "Why would you try to do that? What was the reasoning behind?" And when I see too many of these things happening, I get frustrated. It's, I see what you're trying to do. Not that's a bad thing. It's just not the best thing, and it's not the thing I would have suggested you do in this case. I'm not running things, but I'm a fan of these characters, and dog, I'm not the guy putting Kingpin in a Hawaiian shirt. I'm just like,
Yeah, that was yeah. Hey man, there's some distractors, but I like Black American Falcon Captain.
Black Captain Falcon American. What's it?
Yeah,
American Black Falcon Captain.
I
They
people
changed
hated
they
that.
changed everybody's costume to be more realistic and real world, except for his. Now he's gotta come out looking like the Star Spangled, Pigeon. Just I don't even know what to call him.
Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, so more to come, man. Marvel. Can it right this ship? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. Is set in? Yes.
Yeah.
Can they right the ship? Possibly. They just gotta tell better stories, man. Be intentional about the stories you tell. And if it's a medium for TV, be TV. If movies, be movies. And then, but the rumor is just putting out there, they're gonna do Secret Wars, and they're probably gonna have Doctor Doom come in, and that's when they're gonna introduce X-Men. I'm just speculation,
Yeah.
X-Men and Fantastic Four, and probably bring back the original folks, which they believe that's gonna help get people back on board, but we'll see.
And depending on what's happening in Loki, there could be another thing going on too.